Hi everyone, my name is Noelia and I've been given an assignment to pick my favorite graphic organizer and to explain and showing an example. I choose to share with you the graphic organizer that I like to use in my classroom. It is called the KWL chart and I have an example here. I hold up to see if you guys can see it. This called a KWL chart and it is basically a three-column chart. The first column is labeled K and it is for what I know. The second column is labeled W for what I want to learn. And the last column is labeled L for what I learn. And this is a graphic organizer that I will present to my children. In this case, we're learning about frogs. I'm presenting in a large group. We're learning about frogs. So, the first thing I will do is I will ask the children what they already know. What do they know about frogs? And you know them. In this case, they may say, frogs are green. So, I will write their words under the column K. Another child might say, frogs say river, or frogs eat bugs. Frogs live in the water, or frogs jump. In each case, after a child's response, we'll write their words down under column K. For what I know, my next step it is ask the children what they want to learn about frogs. What questions do they have? What don't they know about frogs? So in this case, for example, a child say, do frogs like people? Or how do frogs catch bugs? Or how do frogs jump so high? And then after we figure out what question they may have, we proceed to read a story about frogs. Hopefully, the story that we choose will answer some of the questions that children have. Once your activity about frogs is completed, you will return back to the chart and under the letter L, you will ask the children what they learned about frogs. And in some cases, hopefully, you may have answered some of the questions about what they wanted to learn about frogs. In this case, when a child says, do frogs like people? We found that frogs like to hop away when they are scared. In answer to how do frogs catch bugs, we found that frogs use their stinky tongue to catch bugs, and then in response to how do frogs jump so high, we found that frogs have strong legs. So this is called the KWL chart. I selected this particular graphic organizer because it is benefit with regards to children learning before beginning an activity. The KWL charts are useful in tapping into the children's background knowledge. You kind of find out what they already know about the topic, in this case, frogs, and then you know what question they may have and where their interest may lay at the end of the learning activity. The key that KWL charts are useful helping children to remember what they're learning, especially as you send them to center time learning. You know, when they return back to the KWL chart, they can remember what they are, what they learning, what new things they learning about frogs. This graphic organizer I feel is appropriate tool for me to use in my early childhood education classroom because for one, it is simple to use for the children too. Understand, it teaches children that print has meaning because they able to you know that children give you responses and you are writing their words on the paper, on the chart, on the board, wherever. This KWL chart is, and they able to see their thoughts put into words on paper so they get an understanding to print has meaning in teaches students. That their words and their ideas are important and it is help children to know with letter recognition, letter sound association, and lastly, they help children just to organize information and it is help them just to become a better visual learner. So that's why I like to use this tool in my early childhood education classroom. I say KWL chart, it is great because of its simplicity, but it is also great because it is versatile. It can be used with any topic, any subject in very effective tool to use in cooperative group. The whole classes come together and they can use these charts, maybe revolving around a book about frogs, or maybe in a small group activity with just 4 or 5 children. Maybe it is like a science activity and they are exploring about frogs. And maybe they have a book to utilize. Maybe the internet is set up to educational site that has information about frogs and the children are able to figure out what they know, what they like to learn, and they are able to seek out those answers from books, from the internet site that you safely chosen. So it is very versatile and very simple. But also, the most effective thing a teacher can do when facilitating the learning process using this type of graphic organizer, it is really important that you demonstrate how to use this chart and what I mean by demonstrate it. It is really important for the teacher to demonstrate her thoughts process, her own thought process by thinking out loud as she walks. The children start the utilization of the chart. As the children hear you, on that process they better helps them to understand what they need to know, what that process they need utilize, and also important that you make a chart child friendly because if you are dealing with younger children, I will not only write the word responses down, but I will also maybe add a little bit pictures to go with it. So the children could associate the pictures in the words together. If you draw pictures next to the writing response, it helps the children. Also, the pictures help to familiarize them and associate the words makes a better connection. Also, if you have dual language learners in your classroom, the pictures really help them to associate what meaning the print has to. So that's an added benefit of copying up words. So the word responses with pictures. So that's why this is my one of my favorite graphic organizers. I have a few others that I like to use, but this is one of my favorites. So listen, thanks for listening. I hope this example of graphic organizer helps you in your own early childhood education and have an awesome day. Bye.